How are you? And we're going to just hit it right on the head. The biggest problem with a solopreneur, there's so many solopreneurs out there. I don't even know the percentage of them that only are doing everything themselves. And when they try to scale, Scott, you see a lot of issues, don't you? And like they decide I'm going to scale too fast, or I'm going to do this or do that, and they're not strategic enough. Wouldn't you agree, Scott?
Oh, I absolutely agree with that, Neil. There are two main things that happen to small organizations like a solopreneur and their small company that cause them issues in the near term and in the long term. The first is that they don't do enough. They don't make the sales calls, they don't make the connections, they don't do the networking. They're not doing the work, and that causes them to fail. The second thing is they're doing too much. And when they try to grow too quickly or they're trying to do too much themselves, that's an absolute failure point. When you become the failure point for your company because you don't have the team that you need to make sure that you can be successful, you're just asking for trouble.
And what do you think's the first hire when somebody's looking to scale?
So my first recommendation for that size company is a virtual assistant. Absolutely. The VA, bring somebody in that's a VA, they have the ability to do the little things in your business that you need. They can help manage your calendar, they can help manage your social media, they can make sure that your YouTube channel is clean. They can make sure that you are getting appointments on your calendar, that you are having sales outreach that is consistent. They can keep you consistent and keep you accountable to your schedule. And that really helps because it's almost like a built-in accountability partner that's doing work for you. And that makes all the difference. I always recommend for that size company, a VA as the very first hire.
And it is the biggest headache because a lot of people think that VA is going to replace them. I think it's a mistake. Sometimes you think the VA replaces you, and that's a mistake people make too.
Oh, it is. Yeah, because there's nobody that can replace you. You are the organization. At that phase, you're the organization. You haven't built processes and things that you can scale with. You are just kind of out the gate, or maybe you've been in business for a year or two and you're doing everything on your own. When you get another pair of hands to come in and make the difference for you, it really does save the day. It doesn't take the place of you. It enhances your ability to offer what you're offering on a whole different scale.
And that whole different scale is a game changer. Now, looking at a VA skill set wise, you think it should be the first tasks that should be handed over to a VA is not the complexities tasks. That's stuff you should continue to do as a solopreneur. It's more of the mundane tasks, right?
Yeah, so this is true for VAs as it is true for larger outsourcing ventures. Generally speaking, what you want to give them are not your core tasks, your business offering. Okay, that's not what you want to hand them. You want to hand them things that are going to allow you to do your core task better. So, for example, market research. Okay, let's say you're trying to break into a certain market, you want to have market research done. You can ask AI today, one of the AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. You can ask any of those tools to help you do that, and they're going to give you a lot of in-depth information. Having somebody that can sort that information, do the prompts, do the work, verify that the information is correct, expand it, and then give you the information that you're looking for, that makes all the difference. You don't have to spend the time on that yourself. Your focus is on your offering. Their focus is on supporting and helping you sustain your offering. They're very two different tasks. And when you're doing it by yourself, you're diluting your efforts. And why, as a solopreneur or a new entrepreneur, would you want to dilute your efforts? It makes no sense.
And that's where I will talk about 100% mistakes. Starting next week, I will be going not just live streaming on these, but using another platform where you'll hear the person talking, interviewing me on TikTok Live. I'll be setting that up, got the new camera and all that, but really to get people's feedback about these challenges. But I'm going to give you some challenges right now as we're finishing up. Bottom line is you hire five people when you really don't need to hire five people. You're afraid that they're going to leave 2 weeks later. You really don't understand the hiring process. You really don't have a SOP in place on your own as a solopreneur doing everything to even hand over any work. And you hand over more difficult work. You hand over things that really is stuff that's your secret sauce, even though you don't like to do it, you got to do it. It's just like, I'll give you an example, booking guests on a podcast. Yeah, to get lead gen. You can't hand that over until you really have a system in place where it's foolproof. You hand over answering emails, scheduling appointments. I didn't do that stuff. I went ahead and gave more complexity tasks and hired people not as VAs, but hired them as kind of solo, not employees, but gave them too much responsibility too quickly. Last point on that. We give too much responsibility to that VA too early or that first hire.
Well, so that is the same thing that you're doing to yourself when you're trying to do everything yourself. You have to be smart about how you implement their services, right? They're there to help support you and to sustain your business. But if you don't play it smart, you're going to set them up to fail. Like any other employee, any other person in your team, you want to set them up to be successful. You want to give them processes they can follow, allow them to be clean and crystal clear. You want to make sure that they have the support that they need, that they have access to the tools that they require to be able to support you in what you're trying to offer and whatever it is you're asking them to do, right? And you start them with tasks that make sense for them to do that let you focus on your core business, your core offering, while they help you support and sustain that foundation of what you're trying to build. You don't get stuck in your office, stuck trying to do all of the administrative tasks. You give those tasks to them and you do it in such a way that allows them to build on success after success after success.
All right, best place we can find information on you, Scott. Where can we go?
I'm on LinkedIn or my website, akataconsulting.com.